bullets that we're dodging, hide the bones in the garden, never beg for a pardon. Cash in before the house rules, never break from the ground rules. Got too high off our own fumes. We keep playing with fire, knowing it's a dangerous game. Yeah, we keep playing with fire. They can smell it from a mile away. Got some black market romance, body with a cold hand, crimes no one gets away with. Some sins you can't atone for, like gold you trade your soul for. Had enough but gotta have more. We keep playing with fire, knowing it's a dangerous game. Yeah, we keep playing with fire. They can smell it from a mile away. So we keep playing with fire. Never learn, you never learn. Let it burn, let it burn, let it burn. Never learn, let it burn, let it burn. Never learn, you never learn. Let it burn, let it burn, let it burn. Never learn, you never learn. We keep playing with fire, knowing it's a dangerous game. Oh, yeah, we keep playing with fire, fire. They can smell it from a mile away. Yeah, we keep playing with fire, knowing it's a dangerous game. Yeah, we keep playing with fire. They can smell it from a mile away. So we keep playing with fire.
Happy Friday, April 4th, 2025. It's Chris and Mark with the NWA Exchange Podcast, the only podcast you need to listen to know everything about Bella Vista and beyond. Well, we're back from spring break, and it may have spring broke us. We'll let you know in a little bit, or you be the judge. Let's get into it right now. Hey, buddy, old pal. Welcome back, man. Got a couple weeks off, man. Dude, I think the Doge may have got us. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, it's been crazy, man. And this weather's just been nuts, man. And the rain has just been nonstop, and these tornadoes and everything else. I mean, you can't look at geoengineering now, and I mean, this is just nuts. I mean, it's just the weather is just so sporadic.
Well, did you see? Did you see the right before podcast? Probably about 15 minutes before podcast. Did you see the sky turn all orange tonight?
Yeah,
that was crazy, man. It's like, are we moving? Like, maybe there's something behind this Elon saying we're going to Mars. Maybe they're bringing Mars to us. It's geoengineering us to be Mars.
I know, but like the last 4 or 5 days, the wind has been like 50 plus miles an hour. I mean, it's been insane.
We had some really nice weather earlier the week, though, man. I went over to old Pop Snow's shop to help him get some more final dialing in of the production line for his Arkansas Razorback merchandise that he's going to be creating and making and selling. And I didn't have to wear a hoodie, man. It was that nice. I was like,
was it?
Yeah. I was like, man, it's nice.
But he has to get. Does he have to get licensing for that?
These will all be certain. He's already got the licensing and certification and stuff. So you can look forward to some of that in the very near future. And we will be doing a video piece with him to let him explain his craft and hobby and passion for creating things. So. Be good.
Awesome.
Be a good time. Just a little bit more work, man. A couple more little stand-in items, and we'll be ready to rock and roll. And he can go forth and make great things for people. So, yeah, man. Just been kind of one of them, man. Just head down, working, man. Trying to get through everything, dude. It's crazy times, crazy places, crazy peoples. So, but other than that, man. Happy to be alive,
it's crazy
boss.
with the market too, man. There's a lot of stuff going on right now, man, and people we just gotta stay on the straight and narrow, man. Be patient. It's gonna work its way out. It's just it'll come back. I know people are losing their right now with their 401ks and their retirement funds, but there's a lot of moving pieces, and the biggest thing is the uncertainty with the markets, and how that works with other countries. So we'll get through it. Yeah. We'll survive.
Just like people are wound tight right now, and I just always want to remind people, man, during times of challenge and stress and the unknown and uncertainty, don't let your emotions drive your decisions. Use logic, reason, fact, and do due diligence on verification of the information that you're consuming. All right. Same concept that we gave everybody during COVID, right? Don't believe everything you read, right? There's a lot of misinformation out there. I'm not saying that everything's misinformation. There's a lot of it, but we know that it exists on both sides of the aisle. So just do your due diligence. Don't let a lot of this noise clog your filter. That's what your filter, you should be filtering the noise out and operating with emotional intelligence and maturity. Okay. Well, we got some stuff coming up for everybody to look forward to. So let's go right on over to the Webby Share and let you do the thing that you
buddy.
do.
Well, finally, Tanya Creek practice facilities are going to be open. It opened today. So they'll be open from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. And I guess there's a bar in there now, huh? I didn't get they had like a tour they were doing. I didn't get a chance to get over there and see it, but the bars run 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. and the cave is 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. So it's up and running. People are going to be excited to go to the driving range and get ready for the season.
Yes, sir. And I believe the firearms ranges are opened up and are in the process of opening up. There is a new requirement to go out and do a safety certification type thing on their website. You sign up for it. I think it's like 5 questions. It's like, do you point loaded weapons at people on the range? No, you don't. It's common sense stuff from what I've been told. I plan on getting in there this weekend and doing that too, because you got to have that done before you can go to the range, and they don't process them the same day. So, day before you go to the range, make sure you get that done and get out there and enjoy, the pew pew stuff. It's always a good time out there. All right, man. Moving along, we've got the hours. Like you said, the daily driving range is 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. Bar 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. Like you said, and 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. What is the cave? Do we know what that is?
I'm thinking it's some kind of simulation, probably.
Oh,
Where they
like
have
a
golf
golf
simulators.
simulator, yeah.
Yeah, I believe so.
Or maybe
I
it's
believe
like
that's-
a knockoff Top Golf where they have it like under some shading with fans and you can hit it from indoor. I don't know. We'll have to see. All right, man. And the League of Women Voters. Go ahead, Mark. Take it away.
Yeah, monthly chapter meeting coming up Thursday, April 17th, from I think 6:30 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. Didn't we reach out to them? I think we'll reach out to trying to get more information about the Bentonville chapter because I believe you couldn't find anything about it, right?
Yeah,
Right?
we couldn't find anything on the National League of Women Voters about this charter that's down here, this chapter. And so again, we got people doing things and imposters and everything else. I mean, like if you can't find them and I haven't looked this year yet. We looked right before the elections to see if they were on there. They weren't. But they were gathering voter information and quote unquote supposedly registering voters, and then on top of it, they started hosting town halls and stuff. So again, do your due diligence, verify who people are and what their motives are and everything else. So
Yeah, I
but,
think somebody else out there would know, someone else would know a little bit about them. Hopefully they can drop us some information in there. We'd appreciate
but
it.
this group of 13 people that have responded, they can sit down and enjoy themselves and call them the Avenger League or whatever they want. At this point, doesn't matter to me. I'm not giving them my information, man. So
Yeah, really. All right, buddy, we got to come see the Clydesdales, Baaaack Stadium in Fayetteville. Budweiser Clydesdales, April 10th, 3 p.m. to 6 p.m.
Yeah, looks
So
like Budweiser's trying to make a comeback still. So, but I'll tell you, they do got some beautiful horses, man.
yeah, I
But-
saw the Clydesdales when I was in Florida, Jacksonville. It's something to see. If you've never seen Clydesdale horses, it's amazing.
Yeah, they're beautiful animals, man. Okie dokie, man. Your favorite time of the night. Let's do it. Bang.
Yeah, buddy, I lost a little bit of that, my screen. You might have to jump in the box 10 for a second.
Oh, no. What happened to you over there?
I don't know, bud.
You lost your screen. What do you mean you lost your
Yeah,
screen?
no, the document kind of went funky there.
Document went funky.
I don't know what the deal is
I don't
with
know
it,
what
but
you're talking about. You want me to go through this?
yeah, go ahead.
All
Knock
right.
it out.
Box 10 cost plus, man. Whole pork butts, $1.33 a pound. Sold 2 per package, so that's a lot of meat. You're going to have a party or something like that, or you got a family get together. Great place to go and buy those 2 pork butts and throw on the smoker for about 8 hours. All right, man. They also got the USD whole eye of round roast, $3.97 a pound, plus 10% at checkout. Sorry, I don't do it as good as you do, buddy. All right, tomatoes on the vine, 78 cents. Garden, you want a nice little salad, 78 cents a piece.
You can't beat that.
Quarter leg, fryer legs, chicken, 65 cents a pound. Sold in a 10-pound bag. What a deal on that, dude. Make some,
that's a good price.
And our last little bit of meats that we got is the 80% lean ground beef. JC Potter, $2.98 a pound. JC Potter select bacon, $1.98 a pound. And that's all we got for the meats and stuff. But some
Good stuff.
I'm gonna give you
Get the
guys a little
pork
pro
butts.
tip if you're gonna spruce up that car for that old timey car with the chrome bumpers like we don't ever get anymore. Them Brillo pads really good to clean up them bumpers. So I'm just letting you know, chrome, a little bit of Brillo. $2.38 a pop. All right, I've done my due diligence on that.
Thanks, buddy.
Yeah. All right, man. We're gonna go ahead and break away from the Webby Share momentarily so we can retool some things. Mark, is your screen look all right now?
Yeah.
All right.
We're okay. Yep.
And if we go back to Web Share, does it look right now?
There we go.
All right. Well, as you guys know, the Monday of spring break in Arkansas, there was a city council meeting on March 24th. I did not get to attend because I was out at the lake camping with the family, enjoying some time away from this place. And apparently the vote, the third and final reading happened for the vote for providing community development services the ability to issue citations, effectively giving them further policing powers. That vote did happen, and it passed. It passed, shockingly. There was one city council member.
Baby.
There was one city council member that voted against it. The rest of them do, which makes me question, why the heck do I even send in information or concerns? If somebody lies to me when I have to make a decision based off the data that they give me, if they're being disingenuous with that information, boy howdy, buddy, I'm probably going to have to say we need to probably look at this more holistically and figure out what the heck is really going on. Especially when you got some of them employees from that department coming in and shit talking city council members publicly on an open mic. I don't know. Maybe we need to look at the department holistically and figure out what the hell is going on there and why our budget just keeps on going up too. I don't know. That's just my 2 cents on it. I don't even know if I really want to go into too much of this, playing this. Probably not, because it's out there on the interwebs. It's out there on Bella Vista Community Television. Everybody can watch it, consume it on their own. I encourage you to listen to some of the dialogue from the one city council member that voted against it. And that would be Councilman Travis Harp, using basic logic, solid logic and reasoning to determine if this is something that's actually needed. No other cities are doing it. Again, no other cities are doing it. Right. I don't know.
Doesn't make any sense to me.
Be nice to have some proper leadership in the city of Bella Vista, though. Guarantee you that. If we could get somebody that's currently on the city council.
I'd just like to know the reasoning behind the other votes. Why you would vote in that direction is. I mean, I need to have some kind of understanding or logic behind it.
Yeah, well, hey, it is what it is. Oh, by the way, we got to take the phone line down because we don't have a hot phone line tonight because
Zoomy.
We're on Zoom tonight.
Yeah.
Because Skype is going away. Can y'all believe that? But the good news is as soon as that transition is over with, we'll be able to host phone dial-ins again, because they're just going through a transition of decommissioning Skype and going into Teams. So very near future, we'll have the phone line back up, but nobody ever calls it anyway. So let's go ahead and take that down. So I don't want anybody complaining. And Mark, you got any more input on city council while I'm looking for the?
I just don't. I mean, I wasn't on board, and I agree with Travis. I don't think it's necessary to give them those. Give them access to write tickets. Yeah.
I mean,
that's how I feel about it. It's just that simple to me. It's
the
just
way they rolled in, like they did when they got their unconstitutional ordinance passed originally. And they rolled in that way they did with like 8. I mean, it reminded me of like an old school bad boys, what you going? Like Cops episode.
We should have queued that one. We should have queued that one up. We had the video for that
too. But that's
people
my
probably
thing.
Wouldn't believe it, And
then the selective targeting that they've been doing, but based off the FOIA information, the selective targeting that they've really been targeting short-term rental owners on top of it. So it's selective, and we want the ability to cite so we can further harass our short-term rental owners or people that we feel aren't compliant, because again, we're not using relevant data either, because some of the people that were cited or not cited yet, given a letter of non-compliance, they weren't even operating an Airbnb. So imagine if you can't get a hold of somebody, because you send little old me, you send me a letter saying, hey, man, you got to comply with our STR ordinance and register and da-da-da. And I'm like, I'm not an STR owner, so whatever, toss it in the trash, right? Well, you send me another letter, I'm going to look at it, I'm going to toss it in the trash, because I know I'm not an STR owner, so you obviously got the wrong dude. Now you want to come over and cite me? Boy, howdy, we're going to have some words, all right?
Yeah,
So
this is about two things. It's about revenue and
mhm.
it's about control. Those two
Yeah,
things.
it's a 100% about revenue. Again, we are running a deficit. So what better way to come up with money than to issue more citations? Just another way to come up with money. So I'm going to move along away from the city because you guys can obviously tell I am just voting no confidence over here anymore. All right,
Yeah.
man. Residents, and that even goes for Bentonville too, because the residents of Bentonville, they got bent on over in the Ville. They got that 100% rate increase for their water, but now the city council has approved it, and the residents are fighting back. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. After the Bentonville City Council voted 5-3 to approve doubling water rates in the city, residents have created a petition to try and get the rate hike reversed. I can't imagine anyone within Bentonville would be super happy about a 100% rate increase, or any increase for that matter, but one that drastically. So I decided to take action and start a petition to see if we can reverse that vote, said Kyle Miller, who created the petition. Miller said he believes the increase is extreme, as well as could bring harm to the local economy and low-income families. Any little bit is going to have that much impact on people, especially for a first-time homeowner like me. A doubling of a utility bill is not something small that isn't going to be unnoticed, Miller said. He said that those that are signing the petition, they're asking the council to revert the increase and implement a gradual increase system, as well as request more transparency between the city and the residents. This story has a little bit more information in it. It is out there on 5 News Online. But the thing that really turned us on about this one, man, because we talked about it on the last podcast, right?
Yeah.
We're like, wow. We've got all these cranes in downtown Bentonville and big blue buildings and going up left and right, bikeable buildings and stuff, and mega apartment complexes and everything else. And it seems to me that with all the development that's going on, that's putting a strain on the water utility. And therefore, man.
Well, that's a fair assessment, Chris.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, this didn't happen yesterday. This has been going on. This is what happens when you're not engaging in your local city governments and finding out what they're doing. And now you're playing catch up, saying, hey, well, we're going to get the people together. We're going to fight it. It's over. You lost. It's 5-3, and you move on and you lick your wounds.
Yeah.
And you start engaging. You start going to these meetings and staying on top of what they're doing. Because they have an agenda, just like Bella Vista. There's an agenda in place.
Oh, there's a huge agenda in every town in Northwest Arkansas. If you guys haven't figured that one out yet, we talk about it. I don't know. Sometimes you talk and nobody listens. That's fine.
Once you get that hook into that catfish, man, and it's set, it's hard to get it out, man.
Yeah, buddy, it is. So it is, man. You might have to get a little wet and get in there and, getting in there all doing some noodling style, possibly. So you got to roll them sleeves up, just get in there, man, and start doing the work and holding your civic leaders accountable and asking the hard questions. And look, some of them ain't going to answer you. Some of them ain't.
No.
But
when they don't answer, you know which side of the street you're on, right?
Yeah. Yep, you do. But some of the comments, man, on this post out here, dude, this is insane. It says Jessica B. Looper. Heather Johnston, this is the most outrageous load of garbage I've ever heard of. Absolutely ridiculous for a 100% increase to be approved, period. Where's the petition? Not going to happen. Yeah, Steve Adams is a realist. The city don't care. If they cared, they wouldn't have passed it to begin with. Okay.
Right.
Well, I've had flooding issue here for 20 plus years. You all have known. We've spoke over the years. You didn't fix the flooding. You rose the meters up inside the manholes instead. Couldn't even bust my manhole open when you dug it 8 inches under the ground 3 years ago when I complained about the new construction, which would cause an increase of flooding. You dug a water pipe under the street, a pond, and overflow pipe to the other empty pond. You've been out here 10 times trying to fix what was not properly installed. This should not be our fault to pay. Wow, this person's got a lot of information on there. Rebecca Crane. All right. All utilities are from the city. What could possibly not be above board. Rick Porter. Yeah, see, people are starting to really tune into what's going on with our cities, our federal government. And so that is one of the good things I can say that has been the outcome of Doge. Seeing a lot of the fraud, waste, and abuse up at the national levels and stuff really makes people want to turn a lens or a flashlight on their local areas and start digging in a little bit too. What do you guys think? Do you think the cities and municipalities in Arkansas and even our state should have a Doge effort, and that there should be an effort to try to hold cities accountable for their wasteful and fraudulent spending? I don't know. Put it in the comments if you think so. I do. I don't see no problem.
I think it's
with
necessary. I think the lines are blurred. What's legal and what's illegal, and we've seen firsthand. Hey, let's try to pass this, even though I'm pretty sure it's illegal, kind of tactic.
Yeah,
that's not how you do things, you know. And you're right. I believe it's not just happening in Bella Vista; it's happening in other cities right now as we speak.
Yeah,
you know,
it's happening everywhere. And I really think that if you were to go out of this 100-mile radius of Northwest Arkansas that we live in, this bubble, if you were to go somewhere else that didn't have the corporate influence that Northwest Arkansas really does have over a lot of these municipalities, I don't think that it would be as obvious to you. But this stuff is really just starting to be blatantly obvious. During the city council meeting, the mayor was like, well, the city council approved the bike park that Blue Crane's putting in. Well, we already knew it was approved. Why'd we even have to hold a damn meeting? We already knew it was approved. You guys allowed them to burn right before Christmas. So why would you let them do that if you're not going to approve it? Like they act like we're like it's all just a legal process. They don't give a crap about what you want. They give a crap about what the family wants in this 100-mile radius. They give a crap about that 2040 plan. They give a crap about bringing the whole free world here. And they don't give a crap about your opinion. That's my take on it.
Yeah, I think we're losing the connection
with
the people, man. No, with the people, man.
We are. No, they are. They are losing the connection with the people. I think we're right on. We're reading the tea leaves as they lay. Look at the comments. Engage with people. There's a lot of unhappy people. Let's hold another poll, Mark. Let's look at our customer satisfaction for municipalities. Are you happy with the way that your city is using your tax dollars and continually coming back for more? This voluntary tax, how many of you guys are paying the voluntary tax? You don't, they always add it, but you have the option to click the box and take it off.
Right.
How many of you guys pay the voluntary tax at this point? I don't. Yeah.
Why even put it in there though? That's the thing.
That's like tipping at a self-checkout kiosk.
Right. When you don't have any fiscal responsibility, you just keep on spending. There's no end. We've seen this time and time again. You don't make the tough decisions to cut. You're not fiscally responsible like every other family. Hey, everybody has to live within their means. You only have a certain amount of money for your utilities, for your rent, for your food, for anything else, medical. You know what I mean? Yeah. You just don't go and start blowing money when you don't have. It's incompetence is what it comes back down to, you know?
Absolutely, yeah, it does. All right, man, moving along, we've got attention residents. The Arkansas Municipal League's also out here trying to rally the troops. Now, everybody knows who the Arkansas Municipal League is, right? That's your municipalities. That's your cities. Cities can enroll in that, and then they collude with other cities to get what they want, basically. They do, they try to create an alignment from what I understand, and discuss, issues that cities are all facing.
Well, technically, you're not off by much because they go and get information from the municipal league. What's the legalities, but behind what they're doing, and get some direction to push their stuff through.
Yeah.
You know,
so the cities are actually freaking out now about a couple of bills that are out and about, but one is the SB 456. It's not just a policy debate. It's about protecting the communities you love, the homes you built, and the neighborhoods you cherish. SB 456 takes decision making out of your hands by taking it out of your city's hands and puts it in the hands of distant lawmakers. What is this ordinance that we're talking about, y'all? Well, single-family neighborhoods could disappear. Well, aren't single-family neighborhoods pretty much disappearing now anyway? Have you drove through Bentonville? Anybody from the Arkansas Municipal League? Tiny homes and RVs in residential zones. Mobile tiny homes under 500 square feet and on wheels could appear on your street, creating uncertainty for your neighborhood. Well, you know what? Tiny homes and RVs and not having to go and ask for permission from the government to park my property on my property sounds like a grand thing. I'm all in. Let's do this. Right?
Yeah.
Now, the one thing that I do think I think that's being embellished on is a little bit is building projects are fast-tracked with no oversight. Building permits would be approved automatically in 60 days if not processed. No exceptions, even if there are real and serious reasons for the need for more time. Well, I could say this. Given the fact that our community development that is one responsible for issuing permits has taken a really hard interest in looking at STRs versus actually looking at buildings when they're being built, some to the tune that they're not built properly, decks falling off of houses being built below grade, houses being built in flood zones and having driveways that are unuseful. I would think that our community development services would be able to process permits within 60 days if they weren't so focused on messing with short-term rental owners. So I don't see a problem with this. If you can't do your job in 60 days, then I'm going to move forward with my project. Period. Yeah. It's my property.
There's a space for everything, like tiny homes and RVs. What I don't get, and I'm not on board with this, is when you put them into single family homes, you essentially devalue that neighborhood, right?
Yep.
Or you put a townhouse development, or when people are like, well, why would you want that? Because it devalues your property that you paid for. And if you knew that was going to go in there, you probably want to purchase the house.
But how do you get around this, do you say, Mark? What is the creative ways for homeowners to actually prevent people from doing things that they don't want in their residential single-family neighborhoods? It's called a HOA or a POA, right?
Yeah.
And we know that those exist. So let's quit blowing, this Chicken Little in the Arkansas Municipal League. All right. You guys know as well as we do that you guys can control things to a certain degree, but you are controlling things way too much at this point. You're designing this for the dreams and wishes of that grand 2040 plan. So I think we give people the rights that they're afforded with their property that the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of Arkansas gives them. I'm sorry, if I want to park my property on my property, I should be able to do that. The only place that we really can't do that is in Bella Vista.
Yeah, tiny homes were they were trying to, the people that are responsible for doing tiny homes down in Rogers wanted to build them behind Bella Vista Lake.
Yep.
Up where the double wides are, and they couldn't get it done. There was just too much red tape and what have you. But I think there's a place where, costs continue to rise. People have, starting out their careers and stuff. It's an opportunity for them. Then they can kind of leap into getting into maybe a bigger single family home, Yeah.
Well, let's go to some of the comments on there, because, it's not just Chris and Mark's, thoughts on this. It's the people's thoughts on this. So outside of a couple of overly broad pieces of language, this bill seems mostly positive in regarding to improving our housing availability. Similar bills have been passed in states, including both Montana and California, to positive effect. A big part of why housing is so unaffordable in Northwest Arkansas is because of a restriction on our ability as of developers to build sufficient new housing in the heart of the region, our city centers. It would likely be more beneficial for the residents of our region facing housing unaffordability to advocate for amendments to this bill, not a wholesale opposition. Very good comment, Isaac River Stevens. It's about finding compromise and using common sense.
Well,
right?
I know Bentonville was pro high density. They were, and I know they're in the process of possibly letting people build tiny homes in their backyards, which to me is nuts. You know what I mean? Again, we talk about infrastructure. what are you going to do? You're going to have to connect them to the sewer. You're going to have to connect the water. I mean,
Yeah.
at
Yeah.
what point do you say enough's enough? You
What?
want to stack everything on top of each other,
Well, I just say, at what point do we, like, the majority of the people that live here, I want to say that the natives, right? I'm talking about all the implants that came in within the last, ever since this bike boom happened, right? I'm talking about the people that have roots here. They have family. They have generations here. They have generations buried in the land here. Okay.
Yeah.
Look, most of us don't have a problem with progress, but what we have a problem with is unbridled growth that is outpacing our infrastructure.
Yep.
I mean, you really are cart before the horse on this. And it's all being driven by an agenda to turn this place into one big metropolis, right?
Yeah, and you're removing what makes Arkansas great is the native people that truly understand this area and have the culture.
Yep.
Once you remove that, and you've seen that in a lot of states, a lot of big cities, you've seen that. It loses its culture. It turns into a big city, not, much different than Dallas or something like that. You know what I mean? We're going to get there someday, man. It's going to happen. But my concern is from the direction of young kids that are starting out. You have a young son, I have young kids, and I mean, it's an affordability issue.
Yeah.
And do you get to a point where a lot of people, say, hey, listen, I just can't make ends meet. I got to move. I'm going to move to whatever, Mississippi or Alabama, where the job opportunity is a little bit better and prices are a little bit better. And I can live a good life instead of living check to check. And that's the unfortunate thing. And I've seen that happen. It happened with me.
Yeah.
It happened with me. I had to move to find jobs.
Yeah.
And that's
a lot of people have had to move to find jobs and stuff like that. I want to say from the Gen X generation, right? I mean, that's just the way life was. It was the way life was for our parents too.
Yeah.
I mean, most of the Gen Xers, you'd live somewhere for maybe 4 or 5 years and then move, right? And then try being a military brat on top of that, right? You're moving, you're moving, everywhere, until that person retires and stuff. So, when you have a place that you call home and you have roots and your family's there and everything else, that's something special. And I just, like I said, I don't like what I'm seeing. I don't like, the disrespect to the natives as well. Like I said, when we buried my uncle, mountain bikers riding through during a military funeral and stuff on the gravel roads. It's again, I get it. I understand you guys like to be outside and doing all that stuff, but we've got to find a balance. And I don't feel like this unbridled growth is any way balanced. You can see it in everything we look at. You can see it in our infrastructure. You can see it in the way that our traffic patterns are. You can see it in the amount of construction. It's just boom, 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 right? Why don't we plan? Why don't we actually have stuff in place before we say, everybody come and look at what we got, right?
Well, it's like you said before, it's the infrastructure. You got to build out the infrastructure before you bring people in. And now what's happening is you're chasing your tail. I mean, perfect example, we were talking earlier tonight about the trails.
Yep.
We have so many trails, man. And there's advocates that want more. Slow up. You got to be able to maintain what you got. And unfortunately, we can't even do that now, and it takes money to maintain it. It takes people to maintain it. And we can't even maintain having trail bosses to do the job,
Yeah. Yeah. I sent you a text the other night because I was just, I started writing an op-ed a little bit and really think about the mountain because I saw another announcement for like 3 or 4 different trails, man. And I'm just like, man, dude, we are really up there. And then the website tells you how many miles of trails, but I don't know how updated it is and all that. But like in the whole Northwest Arkansas region, and it was something to the tune of like over 600 miles of, gravel trails, like dirt trails, single track trails, and then another decent number for the the paved trails, right? And that's where I just started getting into like the thought concept. I was driving down 71 Business, and I was like, obviously Bella Vista is pretty. We've got our greenery and everything's starting to green right now.
Yep.
Thank you for the rain and everything. That means it's the world's turning over. We got another season of growth, right? When in spring, that's what I like about spring. But dude, I sat down when I got home and I was just thinking about it, and I was like, I want to put together a little op-ed, right? And so I did. And I texted it over to you, and I haven't published it or anything. I just kind of type things just to get it off my chest and stuff. But I want to go ahead and read it for our viewers tonight. It said, well, folks, it's time to sit down with the NWA Council and the Trailblazers and possibly have an intervention. Those bike-loving pioneers who see a patch of green and think, what this needs? Another trail. I mean, I get it. There's something primal about carving a path through the wilderness, boots crunching in the leaves, the call of the wild whispering in your ear. But holy moly, how many trails do we really need? It's starting to feel like every square foot of grass, every innocent shrub is just one swing of a pickaxe away from becoming the next new trail. Now, I'm all out there for getting out there and breathing the fresh air and working up a sweat and enjoying the trails. And heck, I've even swung a shovel or two and used some rakes to do trail maintenance and all that jazz. But at some point, you got to ask, when is enough enough? Are we blazing trails just to say we did? Or are we actually going somewhere? Maybe it's time to trade the pickaxe for a picnic blanket. Let the greenery catch its breath and enjoy what's already been carved out. Just a thought from little old me, though. Let's not turn every forest into a two-wheeled turnpike. All right? All right.
That's good points. Yeah, I mean, we talked about this before, Chris, and the word I was looking for was identity. We're losing our identity is what's happening.
Yeah.
With the trails, too, what I see is more and more erosion going on.
Mm-hmm.
And especially now in the last couple of days, the water runoff, I mean, it's just destroying the trails, but it's taking down trees too, doing that.
Yeah.
So it just keeps on pushing it down, and it's really just doing a number on the landscape.
Water is going to take the path of least resistance, man. It's going to, and water always takes the path of least resistance, and water always goes to the lowest point, man. Water always wins. Yeah. At the end of the day, water always wins, man. Yep, so, sure. Like you're not, unless you, what do they say? A house built on a solid foundation, good, right? It's all about your foundations and stuff. And our foundation is our communities and our woods and everything else. And so it's all right to add trails here and there, but it really feels like every available section is going to have a trail. At this point, open your eyes when you're out and about. Look at the announcements. Look at the mileage. And again, these are habitats for our wildlife on top of it. So we have to be thoughtful enough to say that we have a wildlife habitat in Bella Vista too. And that's why most of us moved here, is to have that woodsy feel and enjoy nature. And so we have to be mindful that we're not actually damaging these wildlife habitats either, by putting turnpikes right through them, right? So a lot of things we've talked about multiple times, Mark. I just feel I have to be a little more creative by doing some of these op-eds. We can complain about it on the podcast all we want, right? But it's like, how do we engage others and get others to kind of, I don't know. Do you guys agree with that? It's like, I just don't feel like I
think a lot of people do.
Yeah.
When I was living on the back 40 there used to be a lot of hikers going through there. I haven't seen anywhere near it. They used to have people come up from the University of Arkansas and do, all kinds of insect tours, bird tours, all kinds of things, and engage in the community and what have you. And now it just seems like all that stuff went away. But it's just digging into the hillside, man. It's just eroding away. I mean, what started off as a bike path, maybe about a foot, is 4 or 5 feet now. You know what I mean? Yeah. It continues to go downhill, We
got a couple comments over here. Hey, Connie, thank you for the comments. She says, yes, very good. and yes, too many trails. So yeah, we got a couple comments. Jeff Hendren, thank you for the amen. I think that was earlier when we were talking about possibly I don't know. Sorry I missed that one, Jeff, but I appreciate the comment. And yeah, we got a couple more. Lori, hey Lori, Chaffee Richardson.
Hey, Lori.
She said yes too. So we got a few comments over here, but y'all, I do want to do that housekeeping piece and just say, remember to hit that like button, share the podcast if you can, if you want to, and always tell a friend about it and subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. And we are multi-streaming over on the YouTubes nowadays too. We do have 1.9% frame rate drop, but that usually happens whenever the lightning's hit. That's what I've been watching. So, all right, man. Well, we are going to move over to that, and we're going to go ahead and start coming up with some final thoughts on this one, because we did get a little late start tonight, but we have been live for 45 minutes, so I think we probably are going to call it. Sorry guys, we have been off for 2 weeks, so we don't have too much news that you guys probably haven't already consumed. If there is something that you guys want us to investigate, look into, talk about, or you know somebody that is pretty interesting, man, I'm telling you, we love talking to people. We love interviewing people. If you know somebody who's great, if you know a small business is doing some cool stuff, or that you just want to see promoted in some way, shape, or form, because, we know that things taxpayers pay for don't always equally advertise. I don't know. I still ain't seen a thing from Discover Bella Vista for Rositas, but they're still paying that A&P tax. All right, man. But yeah, I don't know. It's been a week. It's been a couple of weeks. I don't know, Mark. I'm going to shut my mouth. I know I've fire hose of information, man. So
yeah, I mean, it's a lot of information to absorb, but I think we're all on the same page. I mean, we love where we live, and we just don't want to see it destroyed, man. I'm not against progress, but I believe, and we've had this conversation numerous times, you have to build out the infrastructure before you do something like this.
Yeah.
Especially the roads right now. The amount of people that are on the roads right now, and it's just it can't handle it. I mean, even the smaller roads, the 72s and the 59s, and the build out is expanding outward,
Yeah.
and even down towards the airport. So we just have to be vocal and attend these city council meetings and engage our representatives. They're there for us. I mean, one more thing I was going to say. Well, I'll get into it next week. But the point is, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to send, your representatives, state representatives, or senators, what you want changed. They're there for you.
Yeah, there is no there. Like I've always been kind of enamored by people who are reluctant to engage with civic, people with power. Like I've never that has never been like something in my head that, oh man, like I shouldn't. Man, if I get in their bad graces, that could be a ruiner for me or something like that. But again, I'm not really scared of much, man. I'm a dummy from the woods, man. So I mean, I got a hard head up there, But at the end of the day, man, it's like if you don't ask the question, then it's definitely a no, right? But if you can find the intestinal fortitude to just exercise your First Amendment right and ask the question, chances are, and I'll be 100%. The majority of people don't see the stuff that everybody else sees, right? Yeah. And so they're totally obtuse to what is going on in your neighborhood. They're totally obtuse to what your street condition is, or what your situation is, right? And they're not going to know about it until you engage with them, right? And for you to have fear of engaging with somebody who is elected to do this task, and that's advocate for you, you're going to have to change that mindset, man. They work for you. You don't work for them. Right. Yeah, they can lock you up for not paying them to do their job that they don't do, right? But at the end of the day, you get your day in court. All right?
Yeah.
Nobody's going to come to your house, shotgun your door for exercising your First Amendment right. And if they do, well, you always have a Second Amendment right to purchase a shotgun of your own. So I'll just leave it at that.
You got to keep. It's no different than what I told you about with sending that legislation forward, a chemtrail legislation for the state of Arkansas. You're like, are you crazy? Yeah, okay. Well, look what the weather patterns on and all the cloud cover and everything else going on.
Yep.
I mean, and seeing what's been going on to every single American, I did send some legislation through. And I'm going to follow up with it, and we'll see what happens. You know,
but it's going to take the people. It's going to take the people being unapologetically constitutionalists at this point to demand better, right?
Yeah.
And it starts at home. It starts at home. I can remember telling Tom Cotton that during the stump dump. He was asking how we got so organized and stuff. I said, well, most of us are suffering. So that made it easy, right? But two is if people in their communities actually started giving a crap about what was going on locally, and if this just happened everywhere in the United States, holy moly, we could turn this country around so fast, right?
Yeah, for
sure. It's just demanding accountability. It's an audit. Let's audit. They're using our money. We work our butts off to give them the stuff that they just wastefully spend. Okay?
Yeah.
It's an audit. So take action in your local communities. Open your eyes. Engage with your civic leaders. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm telling you how to do it. I know I sound a little hostile. I'm sorry. But no, it really, I'm passionate about this because we have a lot of people who are just complacent or they're capitulating through all the BS without saying a word, just capitulating, just complying, even though they don't like it. Open your mouth. That's why the slogan is talk more.
And we'll push it forward too. If you submit something out and you don't get a call back or you see something that you don't like, feel free to email us. Our emails are here, Chris@nwexchange.com and Mark@nwexchange.com, and we can address it from there.
Yeah.
I think
we can amplify. I mean, that's all we're trying to do is amplify everybody's voice. This is a community, which reminds me, everybody needs to get over there on Bella Vista Unfiltered.
Yeah.
That's right. That's the unfiltered page. And we ought to give a shout out to Jennifer Bridges for running that.
She's crushing it.
She is
Great
killing
job,
it, man.
Jennifer.
And Jennifer said she's almost at the point where she's ready to start doing some video pieces and coming on and contributing to the podcast. Thank goodness she's recovering very well. And dude, I'm looking forward to the future, man. You know, no complaints.
Yeah, she's doing
over
a
here.
tremendous job. Doing a great job.
Can't thank her enough, man. And I'm interested to seeing her take on a lot of this stuff too, man. You know, the progress, the change, and having another commentator on here, man. I mean, I don't want this to be an echo chamber either, right?
Right, for sure. You just got to continue to light up the darkness, man.
Yeah, just light up the darkness, right? Like Bob Marley said.
Yeah.
Stir it up. Well, man, I just want to remind everybody that during these times of heavy rains and stuff, don't cross the roads. You know, it only takes a few inches of water to move a car. So if you see fast moving water, don't risk it. It's not worth it.
Watch out for the hydroplaning too.
Hydroplaning. Get them tires checked, man. Because some people be rolling on race slicks, it looks like these days, man.
I saw a car I did a double take. It was next to where I was parking. And I'm like, man, those look like slicks on there.
Dude, I saw an old school Honda Prelude, man, and it looked like it had slicks on it, man. I was like, man, well, you got some race slicks on there? He's like, no. I was like, what brand are those? Maypops? So
the original smooth head, man.
Yeah, no, dude, tires are. I've run some tires pretty daggone low, but I'm telling you,
not like that.
No, not in the rain. You can't do it in the rain. Like Arizona, you run them tires down to the belt.
They get the tread markers on. They get the tread markers on it. I mean, that guy.
No, I'd run my tires down to the belts, man, in Arizona because you don't get that much rain, man. But when the monsoon season came, boy, howdy, I couldn't drive over 5 miles an hour. So, time for new tires. Monsoon season's here. But at the end of the day, man, we just want to remind everybody to be nice to one another out there. Be safe when you travel. And remember, you don't know what's going on in people's minds right now. These are some Crazy times, man. Stock market, potential job losses, doges with federal employees, you name it, everything under the sun, man. Unaffordable housing, people being laid off, businesses closing. There's a ton of things that are going on that everybody in the United States is suffering through. More cancers too, man. More people are dying from cancer. I know had a few this week, man. So at the end of the day, bro, I'm just saying I want everybody to treat everybody with respect, kindness, no matter what. Don't worry about their political opinion or what your opinion of their political opinion is. They're all humans. Be nice to one another. Show some grace.
Yep. Yes, sir.
Till the next one, stay happy, healthy, humble. Final thoughts, Mark?
Yeah, I appreciate everybody tuning in and having patience with her. We've been on for the last 2 weeks, but thanks again and have a great weekend.
All right. All right, y'all. Thanks for tuning in. Catch you on the flip side. We out.
Same movie.